He was a space pirate with quirky habits.
Hi. Most people find me quirky. I don't eat in front of people.
She was a busy space liner captain with no time for love.
I've got 50 passengers to take on a space whale watching tour. I don't have time for dating.
But when fate throws them together, the result is pretty inevitable.
You're like no man I've ever met. Forget my job. Shippo. Where should we go for a date?
It better not be a restaurant.
From Signian Dreams Entertainment comes a new total immersion experience.
It was incredible. I just put on the headset and it's like I was there, in the story.
Using Signian Dreams' patented Dreamwear immersion headsets, you'll feel the love.
It were like I could feel everything that plucky ship captain were feeling.
You'll feel the passion.
Let's just say, when they got off, I got off.
You'll feel everything.
Did you enjoy your meal?
Oop. I don't think I should have had that raw seafood.
Signian Dream Entertainments and Dreamwear headsets, bringing you closer to the adventure. Signian Dream Entertainment is a division of Signian Dream military educational software. Combat training software also available. Please be aware that improper use of the Dreamwear headset may lead to psychosis, time loss, memory impairment, and hallucination.
Some ships don't feel the same. Some fights always go one way. Core Dynamics, bringing you strength, power, and performance. The chance to fight the good fight and to destroy the competition. From the Eagle to the Federal Corvette, we can offer you an advantage in every skirmish, every battle, and every single fight. Because we
Is your life like this? It could be like this.
Lave Radio, transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
Galnet News Digest, 10th of November 3308. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, we lay 8 extra places at the table. And newly appointed Governor Dalton creates a crumple zone for humanity, called the Kingfisher.
Scientists from a number of galactic organisations have agreed. The Stargoids are heading for Earth, or somewhere pretty close. And they're not Stargoids, they're rogue signal sources. The information comes in a paper in The Empirical, authored by research scientist Yarrow Kenyatta, who's been working with the Guardian and Thargoid specialists Ramtar and Ishmael Palin to analyse the objects which they refer to as rogue signal sources. The first of the RSSs was identified at the end of August. By the 23rd of August there were 8, and the number has remained constant since then. The Stargoids, or rather rogue signal sources, can be detected from several hundred light-years away by the full-spectrum scanner that's fitted to all ships, both as an audible signal and as an excess count of signals detected in the top right-hand corner of the FSS interface. The foremost 2 RSSs are now just barely visible with the naked eye from Sol. Opinion is divided about what the rogue signal sources might be. If they're energy weapons, then when they arrive they could cause untold devastation. Perhaps more likely, the phenomena we can detect are distortions in space-time caused by some sort of massive vessels travelling through hyperspace, navigating from star to star, closing the net around their prey. August research organisations such as Orion University, Universal Cartographics and Canon Research have been plotting the course of the massive electromagnetic anomalies. All agree that they're travelling through space at faster than light speeds and that they're converging on the human-inhabited core systems. This is not something that's going to happen at arm's distance in the Pleiades. For the majority of humans, the Stargoids are going to arrive right on their doorstep, sometime within the next few weeks. There are some signs that the leading Stargoids might be slowing down as they approach their destination. That, together with the clear convergence, means that it's no longer possible to imagine a natural cause for the phenomenon. These objects, whether we call them RSSs, unidentified interstellar anomalies, Stargoids or Thargoid Death Stars, know where humanity lives. And they're coming to pay us a visit. Governor Dalton Chase has been elected to the Federal Congress as the build-out of his grand project, the peace ship Kingfisher, is completed, and the installation of specialist communication equipment begins. Chase was elected in a special election called following the untimely death of the incumbent. The election was dominated by Chase's charm, his clever use of social media, and his pro-peace message, which proved popular amongst younger voters. A number of icecasters fell in behind Chase and the Liberal Party, resulting in a one-sided contest and an entirely predictable result. Leader of the Liberal Party, Felicia Winters, welcomed Chase to Congress, referring to him as spirited. But his message of peace is clearly a difficult one if the Liberal Party is to remain electable. The vast majority of federal citizens remain resolutely anti-Thargoid. In his maiden speech, Chase explained that he believes that achieving peace with the Thargoids would save the lives of innumerable federal citizens and would not only be a great moral victory, but would also ensure the security of the Federation. He's not being soft on Thargoids, he said, but ensuring the well-being of the Federation. Dalton Chase recently organised a campaign to build a peace megaship for the Thargoid Advocacy Project to travel to meet the Thargoids and to negotiate peace. This ship, the Kingfisher, is very nearly ready to set off in its voyage of peace and reconciliation. It's in orbit near Blenkinsop Hub in Andavandal, having technology installed in its 3 huge domes to allow it to communicate with the Thargoids. The hope is firstly to establish two-way communications, and secondly, that the Thargoids won't say anything too rude in reply to the peace overtures. The Kingfisher is a striking ship. If it ever has the misfortune to be destroyed by the Thargoids, it'll make a fascinating wreck for tourists to visit.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News. We read the news so you don't have to.
While the team on Dex Island take a well-earned break before their Series 2 return, there's plenty of material to fill the void. Point your auto assistant to your favourite podcast app, including Spotify and Audible, and search The Dex Legacy. There you'll find bonus edition interviews with cast members and with the writer Emily Inkpen. There's also plenty of bonus materials and merch at www.thedexlegacy.com. All proceeds go towards the making of Season 2.
Lave Radio, broadcasting to every corner of the galaxy.
Amid the stars in the sky, humanity expands and thrives as it pushes back the boundaries of the universe. From the luxury of the core systems to the harsh worlds of the frontier, men still fight. Some fight for survival or greed. Some fight for a flag and others for retribution. But across the lonely darkness, they all share one aim: to be elite.
Escape Velocity, an elite dangerous audio adventure serial written and produced by Christopher Jarvis. Series 2, Episode 3, Escape to the Frontier.
May? May?
Not now!
You know what this means.
Of course I know! I know! I understand everything now, Thane. I'm a clone.
What? How can that be?
It's right in front of you, Thane. That bullet was meant for me. But we have to move. The sniper won't stop here.
But...
Move, Thane.
Do not block the access point.
Down here, quick.
The assassin's above us, and Ali won't help.
The sniper will have to move. If they stay in one place, station security will get them.
Hey, are you there?
Where are you?
Heading back to the ship. I figured we need to make a quick exit.
We'll meet you there. Get the engines hot.
Okay.
Thane, down this way.
But the station dock is this way.
Thane, think. The run to the docks is completely open. The sniper will see us heading there. We can't go that way. We'll be killed for sure.
How do you know these things?
Benefits from private education. Can I have the communicator?
Sure.
Kerlek, do you read me? Over.
I'm at the ship. They're just installing the cabin.
Great. There's something else I need you to do.
Get inside and close the door, Dallas.
They've disappeared off the security grid.
Sit down and be still. If you vibrate the floor, you will make me miss the shot. And I don't like to miss.
They've gone. I'm telling you.
All the approaches to the space dock have an open section of 50 yards. They'll have to cross it. When they do, they're mine.
But there are 4 different entries to that section. Can't cover all 4.
Watch me. Watch me kill them both.
Yeah, I've just got a few terminals to check. I'll get down to the drive-through and check those plates in as well.
Excuse me, mate.
Third technician to you. Can I help you?
Ah, music fan, I see. Isn't that a Jagged the Banner patch on your overalls?
Yeah. I'll sell it on myself. It's from the 37 tour. Are you a fan?
Can you access all the maintenance doors from each terminal?
Yeah, it's a network system.
Oh, excellent. What if I were to tell you that not only was I a Jagged the Banner fan, but that I had access to all their Dreamwear gigs?
Get out! Signian Dreams only did 200 copies of the Starliner balcony gig.
Well, if you will buy from the official store, I can get you one that's just as good.
I see. What do you want me to do?
This way.
Dead end.
Give it a sec. Kerlek will come through.
What is this room? I don't see how this helps.
Put these on.
But what are these? No. Don't you dare.
Put it on, quick! I told Kerlek to give us 60 seconds.
You can't be serious. We're going outside the station.
You said we needed a way to get to the ship without walking to the space dock. This is it.
But it's miles.
That's the inner door seal. Get your suit on.
I'm going to regret this.
I'm sorry, Thane. It's me they're after.
Hey, don't sweat it, kid.
I'm just glad you're okay. Airlock alarm. Get your helmet sealed.
I'm trying.
They're not coming.
It's impossible. They have to cross that structure of the terminal to get to their ship.
Fine. You sit and wait. Dallas out. I've got a hunch they've already slipped past you. Come on. Where are you? Aha. Got you.
Look at the stars. It's so clear out here.
Yeah, it's very pretty. Concentrate. It's a very long walk to the docking bay doors. If your mag boots disconnect, you'll be hurled away from the surface pretty fast. Oh, it feels like we're walking upside down. Have you given any thought to whether we have enough air to do this? Shouldn't we be finding another way back in somewhere?
Doesn't matter where we pop up, that sniper would have us covered. Besides, the service doors are open from inside the station.
I'm just glad you're okay. When I saw you get shot, I thought...
I didn't get shot. That wasn't me.
I know. Who was it, do you think?
Another one like me, I guess. I wonder if she had the same name, the same memories.
How is that possible?
I found my father's records. He was disgraced for immoral experiments on his own family. This must be what that means. He used his own children as a resource pool for creating clones.
But why?
I think... Wait, isn't that ship flying a bit close to the station?
You were right. They are there. Down there on the outside of the hull.
Moving into position.
Easy money.
Goodbye, May.
They're firing. Get behind the stanchion.
Good job we're a tiny target.
They hit the hull. How long before corporate security come to clear them off?
Should be any moment now. Move, over there, under the solar array.
Okay.
Can you get under?
Just about.
I don't think security are coming.
Did these guys pay them off or something? Who has enough leverage to sway station security?
We're not going to make it, are we?
It doesn't look like it.
Thank you, Thane, for trying to help me.
What else could I do?
Space, they keep moving.
Over there. They're in cover.
I'll just destroy everything down there.
That's the solar array. How much of this station can we tear apart before security decide we've outstayed our welcome?
Let's find out. Hold the ship steady for me. I'm going to line up the kill. What's that?
New radar contact.
Incoming.
Ugh.
We're under fire. We're a sitting target.
Get us out of here.
They've gone. They were chased away. Security?
I don't think so. Look at that ship. She's even more beautiful from the outside.
When you'd quite finished admiring my newbie flying skills, how do we get you on board this thing?
Okay, Kurlek, give us a bit of distance. May and I are going to detach our mag boots. We'll be thrown away from the station. Do you think you can cargo scoop us?
Hey, no problem. This isn't our first time flying a ship, you know.
It's more like massacre.
What was that?
Nothing. Let me know when you're ready.
We should hold hands.
For luck.
No, silly. If we're one object, Kerlik only has to make one pass.
Oh. Of course.
Cargo scope deployed.
Welcome aboard, Commander.
Good job, Kerlik. You really pulled us out of the fire. Not bad flying for a green stick.
I prefer to do my business on the ground. Still, they were just sitting there, all stationary-like. It wasn't too hard to line up the shot.
Thank you, Kerlik.
None of that now. My voice unit will rust.
Right. Let me get out of this suit.
What's this?
Ow! You pinched me.
Tracking chip. They must have put this on you somehow. They knew where you were. That's how they found her.
Destroy it. Let's get the hell out of this system. Did we get the upgrade?
Passenger cabin installed and online. The extra air scrubbers have kicked in. It smells fresher in here already. Plus the bed is very comfortable.
Don't rub it in.
Fueled?
I filled the cargo bay with hydro fuel. I thought you might be wanting to get away in a hurry.
Then let's go. We just have to make a chain of jumps and we're...
home.
Something like that.
Sensors indicate they've jumped out. Do we follow?
Of course we follow. The job isn't over until the target is destroyed. I hope there aren't any more clones you haven't told me about, Dallas.
I'd better take this.
Make your report, 39. Is it done?
Forgive me, Matriarch. The prototype got away.
What? How can this have happened?
There was a second unit on the station. Part of the same batch.
Explain.
After the accident at the education centre, we could only account for so many corpses. There was too much destruction. May is the only one we saw escape. There could have been others.
That would explain the erratic sightings we've had from intelligence. What is the status of this other unit?
We assumed it was May. Commander Risha terminated her.
What was she doing in the same system?
The prototypes have a herding instinct. They yearn for family, but it's different in each unit. May is searching for her father. I'd estimate this other unit was looking for a sister. Her tracking skills led her to May.
The prototypes are even more resourceful and effective than we had imagined. Their ability to pursue a target and manipulate others into supporting their cause is unparalleled.
We are pursuing May and the renegade pilot into the frontier. We'll destroy them quickly. You have my word.
No. I have a better idea.
Matriarch?
The prototype's abilities support our original plan. Follow them. Carefully. I have something special in mind. May will finish her schooling.
Euroland, Type G Yellow Star, Frontier Outdoor World. Some farming and tourism.
That's the brochure version. And it's Euroland. Euroland makes it sound like a holiday park. Which it isn't, believe me.
It says tourism.
I can't see anyone vacationing all the way out here. That was a hell of a lot of jumps.
Slave tourists, mainly. Rich kids coming out here to whore and gamble their way through life without attracting media trouble.
It says slavery is illegal.
Trading in slaves is illegal. But in Euroland, everyone belongs to the corporation, sooner or later.
Where are we headed?
Gonzalez is mine.
What's there? People you can trust?
We'll see.
What if the reception is unfriendly?
We'll have to land either way. We're completely out of fuel. Well, there's a few gas giants we can scoop if things get ugly.
New radar contact.
Speaking of which...
Pirates! You don't seem worried.
Kid, this is the frontier. If we didn't get attacked, I'd be highly suspicious. Curler, May, get on the cameras. Tell me what they're doing.
They're shooting. What else?
Very helpful. Coming about. How many?
3.
Then this'll be interesting.
You got one.
Alert. Remlock alarm detected.
Let's see how they respond to that.
They're not even picking up their own.
It's every man for himself out here. You need to be ready for that, May.
Son of a witch!
Shields at 47%.
They're turning round for another pass.
Hold on to something.
New radar contact.
What now?
Wait, they're heading for the pirates. The pirates are running.
They're Vipers. It's corporate security. They must have been attracted by the Remlock alarm.
Oh, great.
Why are you running?
Are you kidding? It's corporate security.
Aren't they on our side?
Not mine.
Incoming communication.
Open channel.
Pilot of craft EV-223. This is Cormac Reeve Corporate Security. You are identified as Elias Thane. You will surrender your craft and submit to arrest.
On what charge?
Possession of a stolen vehicle. Breach of indentured contract.
This ship is stolen?
You were a slave?
Okay. Which question first?
Mine.
I have a better idea. How about we kill these guys and talk later?
You were really going to shoot at corporate security?
Not for the first time.
Oh, space. No wonder you didn't want to come back here. They'll kill us.
When I did it before, the ship was still registered to the previous owner. They don't know it was me.
It doesn't seem to be stopping them.
Not a problem. We just go this way.
You're flying into a gas cloud.
The gas cloud is littered with mining dredgers. Corporate security have standing instructions not to shoot near the fleet. Any collateral damage comes out of their paychecks.
They're coming up alongside.
Pull over.
And...
One down.
Coming about.
He's moving all over the place. He's really good.
Yeah, but he isn't shooting, which gives us the advantage.
Missile detected.
You had to jinx it.
Sensors show a dense mineral cloud further in. Crystals and rock dust. Hold on. This is going to hurt.
We'll be destroyed.
We'll be damaged, but the rock particles should detonate the missile.
Missile contact lost.
Where are they?
Scanners can't see through the debris.
Give me eyes on the cameras, people. What do you see?
Thane, above us. He overshot us. He's in the mineral cloud. He's not moving. The crystals have choked his engines.
Perfect.
You got him.
I got him. What's my second rule?
Never hold fire.
Good girl.
Anything?
Negative. No outbound hyperspace trail.
So, Thane and the girl are in this system, somewhere.
Which is handy. The corporation here is small and on our payroll. We can leverage their help.
I prefer a straightforward hunt.
Orders have changed. You know that. There must be a reason they came all the way out here and stopped. What's here?
I'll run a background check on Thane and Kurlak. Might shake something loose.
Incoming communication.
Open a channel.
Pilot of craft JN315. This is Cormac Reeve Corporate Security. You will submit to security scan.
This is Agent 39, Special Dispensation under Corporate Directive Designation Echidna. I am here on official business.
Please wait. I have special instructions for your ident. Please hold while I patch you through to Chairman Cormac.
We'd be honoured.
Welcome to Gonzalez's mine.
Is there a starport?
Yeah, but we can't use it.
Corpsec preparing a loving welcome for you.
Something like that.
So what do we do?
You see that range of peaks on the horizon?
Yeah.
There's an inactive volcano. You can just fly a ship down into it. It has a basic atmospheric seal, assuming my code still works.
Nice setup, is it yours?
Let's just say it's my inheritance.
Space, look at those.
What is it?
All those corporate barges in orbit. I've never seen so many in one place.
This whole system is corporation run. Colmac Reeve own everything, including half the people.
Including you.
Nobody owns me. How much did you like finding out you're someone's property? That was uncalled for. I'm sorry.
No, I deserved it. So, what's the penalty for runaway slaves?
There's only one penalty for anything in the corporate frontier. The only commodity that isn't expensive is people. Coming into land. Right, time to see if my code still works.
That isn't promising.
Give it a minute. See? I wasn't worried.
Oh, it's cold.
Get used to it. The whole planet's cold. The heating must be off. Looks like no one's been using it.
We'll need suits.
If memory serves, there's a locker somewhere. Should be a few inside. Shh. There's someone in here.
I don't hear anything.
Shh.
Gun! Cover!
Who is it? I've no idea.
Mr. Colmac, sir, I've got a Priority 1 message coming in from Security Patrol.
Put it through.
Chairman Colmac, it's an honour.
The honour is ours. What brings such an illustrious representative as yourself all the way out here to the frontier?
We're tracking a group of fugitives. It's important we find them regardless of jurisdictional boundaries. I hope we can count on your help.
Whatever we can do for mutual profit, friend. Who are you looking for?
Our primary interest is in a young girl called May Havelock, a runaway we need to return to her educational establishment.
Never heard of her.
She's travelling with a freelance pilot named Thane and a tech bootlegger called Kurlek.
You're joking. Now those two I know. We're very interested in reacquainting ourselves with Mr. Thane. And as for Kurlek, his name is all over our records for patent violation. We'll bring them in for you ASAP.
Negative. Intercepting the girl is paramount, but she must remain at liberty. The same goes for her companions.
But these guys are on our most wanted.
Our organisation would be most grateful for your cooperation.
Fine. You'd better come and see me.
It would be a pleasure.
Zark?
Yes, Chairman?
Call off the security grab, but keep our surveillance team looking for Thane. Once they locate him, I want to know where he is at all times.
Very good, sir.
Stop shooting! For witch's sake, we don't even know why you're trying to kill us. At least take your finger off the trigger long enough to tell us that.
This is private property, and you pirates are trespassing.
We're not pirates.
How did you get in here? The volcano is securely sealed.
Yeah, and this is my landing berth. I used my code.
That's what I thought.
Because I always swore I'd kill you if you came back, Elias.
May, what are you doing? Get down.
Who's that? I'll shoot.
You won't, because I'm not your enemy.
No, you're not.
At least give us a chance to explain.
Well, Elias, are you going to explain?
May, Kurlek, this is Andrew, my wife. Nice to see this place is as picturesque as I remember. Tin shacks as far as the eye can see.
I'm sorry, you're married. This is your wife.
Ex-wife, thank you. I had him declared dead months ago.
You let me go a long time before that.
But the dancing girls and Camilla.
anything in a different galactic sector doesn't count.
What are you two whispering about?
It's always nice to catch up with family, isn't it?
So, this place is your home?
Yeah.
It's lovely.
No, it isn't. It's a junkie. Why do you think I left?
It's hard to believe people live like this, stuck inside metal boxes.
I grew up with it. You get used to it. Like space travel. Between you and me, I get a bit nervous going outside on Earth-like planets. It's ingrained.
Is that for terraforming? Those vents?
They've been doing it for decades, so they tell us. That's why the corporation taxes us to the bone. I don't know. I think it's a little warmer than I remember. Andrew?
Don't talk to me, Elias. It's still cold.
We'll be warm enough inside, though. Where are you taking us?
I can't risk taking you into the accommodation quarter. Not until I know how much trouble you're in. There's a bar I can trust.
Finally, someone is speaking my language.
What do you people want? Why did you come back? Oh, we need to lie low for a while. Ha! Trouble, eh? Why doesn't that surprise me when you're travelling with Thane? Actually, it's my fault.
What?
What? Thane helped me escape when I got into danger. Well, Elias does love a hopeless cause, even when he's trying to be a hard ass. That's probably why I married him.
Elias Thane, indentured in 3246 for non-payment of debt to the corporation. Warrants issued for starship theft and flight from service in 3247. Also Anders Kurlek. Warrants issued in Aquada in 3244 for multiple counts of breaching technology patents. Rockforth would love us to bring him in. So tell me, what's so important that I have to let two enemies of the corporation roam free?
May has become an important asset. We need to use Thane and the other one to bring her in. After that, you can do as you please.
If we don't keep a hold on Thane, he'll get loose. A slave that gets free is always an embarrassing PR challenge, especially in keeping the other slaves in line. It gives them ideas.
Mr. Colmack, if you help us bring in the girl, my colleague can help you with Thane.
It would be a pleasure. For the right price.
Okay, deal. Did you find what you were looking for in the record?
Thane's a dead end. If we didn't already know he was stubborn before, your records confirm it. He won't give up the girl. I'd have to kill him to get to her.
So, his death could help us.
The girl may go underground. Kurlek is the weak link.
That thief?
Kurlek looks after number one. He fled his home when Rockforth put out the warrant. That's his price. We offer him amnesty for the girl. He'd be able to go home.
You what? No way. Rockforth will have our hides.
She's worth every credit, Colmack. When we're gone, whether you honour the deal with him or not is your affair.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. Sark, go with Dallas. Give him our official support.
Sir, I'm not sure I'm qualified. I have duties in the dockyards.
You've not proved your worth to me, Sark. If you can bring this in, I might just keep you on.
Sir.
Come on, Sark. Let's make Kurlek an offer he can't refuse.
In episode 3 of Escape Velocity, Christopher Jarvis played Thane, Amy Timms May, Alan Wales Kurlek, Liam Macaulay Dallas, and Katie Howes Risha. James Warwick played Andre, Leeson Fisher, maintenance worker, Anthony Wilkes Colmack, and Sark was Janet Westwood Wilson, with Anne Collins as the matriarch. Additional parts were played by the cast. Escape Velocity was written and produced by Christopher Jarvis, with music by Alan Stroud, and is a radio theatre workshop production for laveradio.com. Elite is copyright Frontier Developments. For more information, please visit escapevelocity.laveradio.com.
Dreams. Humanity's dreams. The hope to live among the stars. From early times, we've gazed up to the heavens and wondered if one day we could travel there. Maybe even live there. The Brewer Corporation has made this dream a reality, constructing intricate cathedrals of metal, circling numerous planets across thousands of systems in our human bubble. Why stay rooted in a gravity well when you can be free in orbit, free to dream, free to live, and one day to become a commander and be free to blaze your own trail.
Lave Radio. Lave Radio. Fly safe and enjoy the show. Lave Radio.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
And the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous.
and the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from an orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads. A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 417 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix of Fire, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar for this episode, we have, as usual, our Head of Health and Safety, Commander Ed Levice, otherwise known as Ben Muss Woodward.
Can I touch it from here, do you think?
I wouldn't touch it with yours.
I'll wash my hands after.
Mm-hmm. We also have our XRV Banksy, that's the B Commander Alec Turner.
Evening all, it's race week. Woohoo!
And of course, we cannot forget our Staff Liaison Officer, Commander Psychic.
I am back. Hi. Hi.
Oh, and welcome back. How many wines have you had?
I haven't had any. I'm absolutely shattered. I was dropping off a tot at the train station at like 5 o'clock this morning, so I'm a little battered. So I can't risk it. I'm not gonna lie.
Pretty much. If you wish, you can join us live. We are hanging out in game in open. We have Ben. He's out chasing unidentified interstellar anomaly number 1 in cold. What?
Unfortunately, it's running away from me, and I can't go that fast.
You can call 285 sector OR-V C2-20.
Yes, I am there. It is still part of the area, though.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to try and catch a Stargoid, catch a fallen Stargoid, put it in your pocket. Yep, go and catch up with Ben. And God knows where that came from, and I haven't even started drinking yet. So,
wow.
I know. Yes, so if you can't join us in live, and if you can't catch a Stargoid, then you can get to us in the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat. Or go straight to twitch.tv/laveradio, or go to Facebook, go to YouTube, or go to Elon Musk Twitter.
Are we on Mastodon yet?
It's funny that everybody else seems to be going there.
Yeah. Is there a gaming thing on Mastodon yet?
There's I don't understand it.
I am confused by it, I have to admit. It seems like it's like you can join anyone's server and you can do anything.
You can see everything else. And...
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got my head around Mastodon yet. I just wish that someone would make Twitter Mark II, but...
Looking at you, Google. Come on, lads. You know how to do it.
They did. They made Google Plus and everybody ignored it.
Yeah, but if they did... Let's talk now. In today's current climate, we could potentially... Google could make a resurgence.
You've got Insta, you've got... I think Instagram's probably the closest, really, isn't it? And that's owned by Facebook.
Oh, God, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so is WhatsApp, remember?
Yeah, I must admit, I do have fond memories of Google+, but then again, I probably was the only one on it. Yes. So let's go around the crew, see how they've been the last couple of weeks. We'll start with Ben.
So, what exciting things have I been up to? I went to see Black Panther with the kids at the weekend. That was lots of fun. I've been chasing signal sources and using my new and improved FFS scanner. And I got Among Us VR as well, and I've been having lots of fun in that, dying and things. Well, I've been dying and I've been killing people. It's good fun. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Fair enough. Mr. Turner, obviously there's a new buckyball. I guess you covered that last week.
There is. Yeah, I guess we explained what it was and where it was. But it started now, so I'm actually doing it.
Oh, lucky. I will be endeavouring to join you as soon as I get a chance to. Anything else?
Yeah, what have I done this week? I finished watching Rings of Power, which I probably can't discuss without massive spoilers, so maybe we'll save that for when it seems appropriate to do so. I am currently watching something which is brilliant. It's Servant of the People, which in the UK anyway is on 4OD. This is the sitcom that Volodymyr Zelensky made before he became president of Ukraine. I have to say it's fantastic. It's funny. It's scathing satire on sort of oligarchy rule in Ukraine. It's very poignant because you have to keep reminding yourself of what's currently going on in that country versus what you see up on screen. Yeah, it's brilliant. Highly recommended. And in game, I'm doing the race. I've somewhat peaked too soon, actually. I'm currently first in regulation and second in unlimited, but I'm never going to catch Shay. And now the planets have shifted, and it's almost impossible not to get obscured jumps. So I think I may well have done the best I can possibly do now, unless things clear up for the end of the week.
That sounds... yes. Well, good luck with that. I will endeavour to stay outside the top 10, as usual. But...
Yeah, I mean, basically, the obscured jump means you're adding about 45 seconds onto your time by making one extra jump that you really don't need to make, and I need to lose 45 seconds, not gain it.
Yeah. Okay, Psychit. Obviously, you weren't here last week, as was I. What's been happening? Bear in mind, we would like to talk about a little excursion.
Oh, I have stuff about that. We'll talk about that later. I have been playing host to the absolutely lovely and wonderful stateside who is currently still in a plane at the moment, flying back to the States, Crispy Tater Tot. We have been doing lots of touristy things in South Wales and having a lot of fun and getting caught in rain showers and taking a quick excursion over to Cambridge to say hello. and I've not turned my computer on for a week. Which is wild. We did a little stream on, I think it was Wednesday. At some point we did a little mini pop-up stream on Wednesday. We fully intended to do another one, but Sunday came around and we were just like, this was the day we planned to do it, and I was like, I can't be asked getting everything out and getting it all set up again. And we didn't do that, but we did go and see Black Panther, which is very good. Highly recommend going and seeing it. I will not spoil anything about it, but it is very, very good and a very interesting movie. Aside from that, like, I haven't done anything in game. I've been paying a lot of attention to the results of the Disrupt Azimuth, Protect Azimuth side of things. That's been really interesting to see how people have been feeling about that, and just understanding the level of reading comprehension that some folks have who play Elite Dangerous has been incredibly interesting to learn. And then we also did a bit of a little micro meetup on Saturday. Just a couple of us got together, some of us with 2.5 hour drives, and very grateful to see a lot of different people. So it was good stuff. I've had a good week, ready to do some buckyballing and at least get a time on the board, even if it's going to be 45 seconds slower than it necessarily could be.
Nice. Well, that's good to hear, because my news for this week has not been great. Personally, today is the day I have had to put my dear mother into a nursing home. So, I'm not exactly full of the joys. And it does mean that I've been away from my computer for more than a week, and the laptop that I've got doesn't run Elite. But what I have been doing is rediscovering the love I have for the older Space Sim, which it does run. So I have been playing a lot of Freelancer, and I've been playing a lot of Independence War 2, and what it does make you appreciate Elite a lot more, because these were the two top space sims of the early 2000s, and to tell you the truth, you appreciate Elite a lot more. And I'll still admit though that iWar 2 still holds up. It still has a fantastic combat mechanic. And you can just see that if it had been made today, it would have been made very, very similar to how Elite has evolved. So that's my that's my news out of the way. So let us go through and see what the development news has happened this week. And I'll try and do that again in a language that's understandable. So, development news. What have the devs said this week? Well, first of all, we've had the Galnet news roundup on the 11th of December. Paul takes his usual, how shall I put it, alternative viewpoint to Galnet news.
You could call it that, absolutely.
Yeah. So basically, he says what we were thinking. For evaluation.
I did like his little dig at the naysayers. I had to give respect to that. It's classy.
Yeah. Well, that was followed on Monday by the usual Discovery scanner. As per usual, at this moment in time, there's not that much to talk about because, well, there's not that much to talk about. However, they have said that Thursday's Frameshift Live 21, that will obviously happen on Thursday, will contain information about Update 14. And it's probably going to be the last Frameshift before Update 14 actually drops. So I guess stay tuned. Anybody got any thoughts about the lack of news so far?
I'm going to stick with no news is good news, I think.
Okay.
And the fact that like no news indicates potentially busy devs making things work and still coming out in November.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's my reading too.
Yeah, that's what. As every single time one of these things have come out, they've sort of said, "Yes, we're still on target for the end of November," which it is good news. And Sally has apologised in the forums for saying, "Listen, one of the reasons why we're not the community managers aren't on the forums at the moment is because we're still heads down getting work done on update 14." So yeah, I guess
I'm
almost to the grindstone.
I'm seeing it as there's nothing they can talk about and even drop hints about, which probably means it's stuff that we're going to probably enjoy. You know,
let us hope so.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yes, Alec.
Well, on the nothing they can talk about. Do we want to get into this later or now? But I just wonder what they might show us on Thursday. Given that it's mostly narrative, I've been thinking what they might be able to show us. Do you think there's other stuff? There'll be bug fixes, obviously, but I wonder if there's some other little incidental quality of life that they can show us.
Yeah, it would be nice to actually see some quality of life things. What do you have in mind, Alec?
What do I have in mind?
Yeah.
Gosh, I didn't really. I have bigger theories on update 14, but little quality of lives. I'll have to think. Come back to me. Go around the circle, and I'll think of something.
Well, in that case, we'll have a think about that for the main discussion then, and come back to it. So yeah, as I said, not much news in the way of new development news. I have been following, quite ironically, I've been following Elite Dangerous on Steam charts, and it does seem that we've started to more people have started to play it again on Steam. And then I did a little comparison, because you can do this comparison tool, and it turns out that Elite Dangerous has got roughly the same amount of players as both SOTOR, Star Wars: The Old Republic, and the same amount of players as whoa, good grief, it's gone out of my head now.
EVE Online?
EVE Online, thank you. Yes. So I thought those two were bigger games than that, but it does seem that, yeah, we're not as in much trouble when compared to what I consider two of the big hitters in the MMO industry. I mean, it's a different matter when you compare it against No Man's Sky, because No Man's Sky is doing, I think, an average of 6,000 players a day, and we are just under 4,000. But it still surprises me that Elite Dangerous is holding its own. Anyway.
Yes.
Moving on from there. The England events. Now, what has been happening this week, I wonder, because I actually haven't been following it due to personal details, so I hope everybody's fully prepared to bring me up to date. So, first of all, on Thursday, the 10th of November, we had Understanding the Thargoid Roar. Now, this is for Professor Tesseru, Professor Ishmael Paling, and Ramtar have all released a joint statement regarding the alien sound, and they kind of come to the conclusion that it says something along the lines of, "We see them, we are coming." Anybody else wearing their brown trousers?
Bloody love that. So good. So good, man.
Yes, it's just beginning to
Look a lot like Christmas.
yeah, ratcheting up that tension. You can just feel that the tension ratchet has just gone down one click. And there'll be a little bit more than that coming along. Also announced on Thursday the 10th was Azimuth claimed an expensive success. Now, it does mean that Azimuth Biotech have managed to achieve their goal of creating at least one anti-Xeno megaship. However, they didn't do as well as they were hoping. Nothing to do with you, Psychic?
nothing like expressly to do with me. It was just, I only did like 11 mil, but there were people, there were Discord shots that I've seen screenshots that I've seen that have been absolutely wonderful and in the multi-millions, tens and tens of millions. So fair play to them. And I hear that the reward is kicks a bit of arse. So
the rapid fire multi cannons.
Yeah, the phasing rapid fire multi cannons, if I'm not mistaken. They kick arse somewhat substantially. So they've been it's been quite fun and rewarding. But it was a close race for a long time. And then reading comprehension was met, and then suddenly it was a good. It was a bit of a wash at that point.
Right. So basically, level pegging until basically tier 1, and then all of a sudden, bang. Something like that.
Something like that. There was a good few billion in it.
Mm. Right. Well, the next day on the 11th, the Pilots Federation actually upgraded the FSS scanner. Now, this means that you are now able to target the Stargoids as they approach, and also target rogue signal sources. Now, Canon Interstellar Research, of course, got a mention in this. So, has anybody been able to tag? Well, obviously, Ben, you're chasing one at the moment. Have you been able to tag a Stargoid with the FSS?
Yeah, so you go into your FFS scanner, and rogue signal sources are the Thargoids or UIAs or whatever you want to call them. They're all the same thing.
So when you drop into one of those, do you get attacked, or is it just a green cloud?
You can't drop in on one, unfortunately. That's a bit of a downer, but you can go very close, but you just can't drop in, sadly. There are lots and lots of wrecks in the area.
Mm-hmm.
The improvement, I think, now is when you go and target it, you can it gives you a sort of wibbly wobbly marker on your FFS scanner. But then if you go back into your normal thing, you can select it in the HUD, or you can target it there, and you'll see the distance and watch it coming or going or whatever it is doing if it's close enough. So yeah, then that's how I found out I was closer to one than I was to Hudson Orbital.
Yeah. Congratulations. I guess we're all going to get close to a Stargoid pretty soon.
Probably closer than we want to, anyway.
Yeah. Now, next up, we also have the Xenal pieces. Oh, yes, what?
I think Alec has something he's wanting to.
It's all right.
I apologize, Alec. Off you go.
All it was, I was curious. So, Ben, if you these things are moving, right?
Yes.
Obviously. So, can you not do like a misround hollow and get the other side of it and then target it and then it's coming towards you?
Can't go as fast. I couldn't go as fast as one.
But what I mean is, can't you come at it from the other side?
If you know, if you're lucky and it goes through the system that you're in rather than a light year away from the system, yes, I guess.
Right. Okay.
I mean, but even then, I don't know if you can actually get there. And somebody's just dropped in on me.
Oh, nice. We'll just point out we're not offering bounties on Ben tonight.
That's Commander Phillips. Hello. He was looking for me earlier.
I did read, I can't remember where, I think probably on the forum, some little discussion about how they behaved a bit like repelling magnets. So I guess some people have managed to get round the other side or have them coming towards them, but I think there's some kind of... We're clearly not meant to drop in on them, right?
Yeah, I don't think you're meant to drop in on them.
Right. Cool. Okay, well, that brings us on to today. Now, we've actually had 2 new items come through today. The first is that the Coalsack Nebula has now started to report more Thargoid activity. So human colonists in the Coalsack Nebula have raised the alarm after Thargoid forces appear in several systems This following recent attacks on vessels in the Californian Nebula. It appears that the Thargoids have sought to occupy systems where barnacle fields are present on planet surfaces. So, yes, Councillor Lewis Laychurch, representing the Alliance Expeditionary Pact in HIP 62154, provided a whole load of details to the Alliance Tribute. Now, I just missed something. I missed the Xeno pieces have rejected the prediction of war. That came out on Monday. I do apologise. This is the advocates of the Thargoid Advocacy Project. Now, they're saying that they haven't actually been hostile yet. Why is everybody getting so excited? I hate to say this. I think this lot are basically sticking their heads in the sand. What do you think to the Thargoid peace initiative?
Bless them.
Oh, this is what we were talking about last week, and it's my position is, I wish we could do something with it. I think for gameplay we probably won't, because obviously it's more fun shooting them than hugging them. We'll see what. I hope there's more to it than just
sacrificial lamb being sent out to the slaughter.
Something like that.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I'm afraid I think it's 100 to 1 against that something interesting apart from an explosion will happen. I fully expect them to be space dust by the time the Stargoids hit. But it'll be interesting to see if they aren't. The other thing to mention is the reaction to the statement from Professor Palin and Ramtar. That also came out today with a lot of people reacting with panic. I think that's the best way to put it. However, we seem to have a rival in the media for here in Lave. Who's this Casey Kilpatrick?
No, he was a mate of yours, Colin.
Oh, hang on. If you want a quote from Lave, you come to Lave Radio. We own the bloody system.
I mean, I wouldn't. I wouldn't quote Lave on any reputable source.
Thank you for that vote of confidence there. But yes, a lot of the media is now reacting to the statements made earlier by Professor Palin, and yes, they're all. Everybody's getting a bit worried, and in this person's opinion, quite rightly so. So the latest. Oh, go on.
For what it's worth, Colin, Casey Kilpatrick can't be anyone that's important. They're over at Castellan. They don't even have a proper station, just a floating rock.
True. not that we're feeling insecure at all. Anyway. We have a bar in the station. They've got a rock. Right. Anyway.
Those splitters.
So a quick update on the Stargoids. They are still only 8 of them, according to the UIA tracker at Canon. And interestingly enough, number 3 has gone straight past HIP 22460 without stopping. It passed about 24 light years from where the Proteus wave fired and just headed on straight to Sol, rather. Plus also, we've also had someone superimpose a Stargoid over the top of a Thargoid, well, basically a Thargoid structure. And it does look almost exactly the same. I think that's a fantastic...
Yeah, it's persuasive, isn't it? I mean, it's not identical, but it's awfully persuasive.
Was anyone surprised?
No, I mean, I'm not really surprised by any of. Well, not much of this, but
Yeah, that was done on the forums by Sam L5580. So, well done, sir.
While we're still on that public unnerved by Palin announcement story.
Yes.
Do you know what intrigues me is the Vista Genomics bit just subtly drops in the middle there. That seems really interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, Vista Genomics has reportedly contacted the team working alongside Professor Palin with a proposal to share its genetic database with ongoing research projects. The potential importance of such data may precede an increase in payments to those who record and submit genetic samples. Could we be looking for a new mycoid virus then?
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. Because that was a fungus, wasn't it? It was described.
It was
discovered by biologists.
Hey, so we not only do genocide once, let's do it again.
Yep.
And we're the good guys.
It worked for 300 years, and then we stirred the pot again.
What I like about that, I suppose, is everyone, the Stargoids are coming, everyone's getting their combat ships ready, they're getting all their sort of Guardian weaponry up to speed and everything. I'd love it if Frontier pulled a bit of a curveball and made it that the first play against the Stargoids was exobiology. That'd be really interesting.
Imagine though, all of these people who hate exobio, because there are folks who don't like it. I know folks who really don't like it. But imagine all of these people who have spent years and years honing their combat craft, only to be told, to get whatever these, say for example, you need to provide weaponry or something like that. In order to get that, you need 3 different fungal samples from different planets. One of the requests is the salt. Oh, I love it.
How about this? Basically, you've got to fight some Thargoids and then extract the genetic materials using that Dyson horror machine that you got.
Shoot them down and then they crash on the surface, and then you have to get out and exoscan them.
And exoscan the bodies.
And you've got to find 3 bits of the same Thargoid's body scattered over a distance of more than 5 kilometers. Yes!
There you go.
But you can only do it in a Scarab SRV.
This is music to my ears. This sounds great. Do it for us.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I would love it if they pulled in those kind of mechanics. But I guess we'll talk about that later. So, in the meantime, I guess it's that time of the week again.
Store alert! In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. A store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert. Which one will you buy? A store alert, 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 a store alert. Which one will you buy?
Yes. Well, let's be honest here. I don't think we've got much this week. I am sure that we've seen what is highlighted in the store at the moment before. The Dolphin Expressway voyage is the Dolphin Expressway skins does seem to have appeared. I'm sure we've seen these before. We've commented on these before.
If they were for a different ship, but normally if it's for a new one, there's normally like social posts about it, and there haven't been socials.
Yeah,
that I've seen anyway.
So I'm afraid to say we don't have much to report on the good old store alert. I must admit they do look good, these Dolphin Expressways, but nice We'll just have to wait and see what comes up with update 14, I think. I've got a sneaky suspicion that there'll be a whole load of new store alerts that will come out with that.
And also, we've just had like a metric shit ton of skins and stuff that came out for Halloween. So I think it's fair to maybe give the design, art team a little bit of a break, just to let them stockpile some stuff for future things.
Yeah, I think that is a fair point. I mean, it's just us as the community, aren't we a bit greedy?
Working on all the Santa stuff now, anyway.
You might have given us these skins, but what have you done for us lately?
Very much true. Right. Well, if that's the case, we will do some adverts, and then we'll come back with a kind of discussion.
This is Lave Radio.
We all know what it's like. You're busy managing your settlement when suddenly the alarms go off.
Oh no, not again.
That's right. A commander with a Federation naval rank of Admiral, an Imperial King no less, has landed in a ship worth over 100 million credits and is killing all your staff, while they look around for a 10 credit adhesive to glue an upgraded scope to their 100,000 credit assault rifle. They fly away with their super glue and you're left with a problem. How are you going to get your agricultural plant back up and running?
How am I going to get my plant up and running?
How are you going to find staff at short notice?
How am I going to find staff at short notice?
How are you going to deal with all those bodies?
There's bodies everywhere, and they've stained the carpet.
Wonder no longer. Call Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services.
Hello, I'm Harry from Harry's Mine. After a sudden increase in robberies and murders by commanders since 3307, I've gained valuable expertise in cleaning up bodies, recruiting new staff and restocking stationary lockers. Now you can benefit from my experience by signing up to our Crime Scene Cleanup Service subscription plan.
That's right. For only a small monthly fee, when your settlement alarms are activated, our rapid response cleanup crew will be dispatched, along with our patented Cadaver Scoop 150. The Cadaver Scoop 150 can be mounted to surface reconnaissance vehicles and skimmers to make tidying up your settlement a breeze.
Wow, the bodies are gone.
Our recruitment team has potential new employees on standby across the galaxy, ready to fill your vacant roles in security, logistics, administration, processing, and more.
My plant's operational again. Thanks, Aries Crime Scenes Cleanup Services.
Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services. We'll have your settlement as good as new before the next ship arrives. Cadaver Scoop 150 disposal bags sold separately.
Protecting settlements from villainous scum, it's Settlement Patrolman. The action figure every child wants. Wearing the all-new Manticore Dominator suit with light-up jump assist thrusters. Press his backpack to hear Settlement Patrolman speak.
Not seen you around here before, Commander. Is that a Karma P15 in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me? Hey, don't point that at me.
When alarms sound, Settlement Patrolman rides into action in his surface reconnaissance vehicle with pop-up turret and glow-in-the-dark wheel trims. Settlement Patrolman.
Surface reconnaissance vehicle and action figure sold separately. Available from branches of Lave Toy Depot and other retailers. Microelectrode, ion battery, and circuit switch not included.
Lave Radio, broadcasting to every corner of the galaxy.
From the makers of the MB5 shaving drone comes the latest impersonal grooming technology. Here at Saracen, we've heard your request loud and clear. You want something new. Applying all the recent technological advances. Introducing the Panther Clipper. Gone are the days of your unruly body hair making you look like a bedraggled alpaca. The Panther Clipper is the biggest, baddest shaver credits can buy. A shave so smooth it'll shave 10 milliseconds off your buckyball time. The new Panther Clipper from Saracen. It's exactly what you've been asking for.
And welcome back, I guess. Well, I guess first off, Psychit. What the blazes? Have we got an invading alpaca again?
I'd watch it. It's careful.
I hope we're not going down the loose screws soundbox route.
Please no.
It won't end well.
No, I can't stand the sound of any more alpacas. Thank you. Right, moving on. Psychit.
Hi.
I'd like you to bring us up to date with your special liaison. Frontier Towers.
Yeah, no, on Thursday, like it was something very much that Crispy wanted to do was, obviously you don't come to the UK very often as an American, so it was very much something that Crispy wanted to do. He wanted to make sure that we went over to Frontier, and he'd like done all the organizing of everything and spoken to a few folks. So we went up on Thursday and had a little chat and some drinks and just like a bit of convo and stuff. We met up with Arthur, Kat, and Tim and Lydia, who were on sort of like the Planet Zoo side of things. It was an excellent night. It was a lot of fun. And I don't have like huge amounts of tidbits to sort of like share. I've got a couple of little things.
Little things will be appreciated.
Yeah, so obviously Arthur definitely would love to share more information than he is allowed, and it remains incredibly tight-lipped, and god damn it, and it's a wonderful human. However, he did say that update 14 he was very excited about update 14 and excited to see what everybody made of it. But the other thing that he said, that he did tell me that it wasn't a one and done thing. So it's not like one thing is going to happen and that's going to be it. It's going to be something that develops, and it will have things that we as a community will have to solve, his words, not mine, over time. That's all that I have. That's all that I can give you. But I was it left me like sat going, what is it? What's it going to be for most of it? And then I completely lost my train of thought for a very, very long time. But that was about it.
Nothing to do with the vast amount of alcohol, sort of, stop asking you silly questions, have a beer.
No. If anything, Arthur's very, very good at putting them away. But I'm sure I'm just excited. I'm also like 99% certain that we're probably going to get another cutscene as well, which I'm also very excited about. But we'll see.
Oh.
That's only from me just being the worst human and thinking and reading into things when they shouldn't have been things read into. But if that technology is there for a cutscene, why would they not use it again? That's my feelings.
Yeah, and then no doubt we'll get the usual. I don't want to see that cutscene.
What's the point? What's the point? If only they could tell us that we could escape it all the time. But I'm sorry I don't have like huge amounts of information. I did get to go and see the studio and actually go and visit to the office. They're obviously very, very busy at the moment. But we managed to squeeze in a studio visit between 9 and 9:30 the following day. So we went and producer Adam has a face. Who'd have thought it? And we went and met Tim and Jens in the studio. Got to sit on the sofas and generally just like fangirl about everything. And also then saw Tom, Hannah, And I'm really, really bad with names, but I know he's been on the streams before. I think he works in sound, and I feel really, really bad for not knowing his name. But that was all just like a very, very brief hello and stuff. But yeah, it was a really nice time, and they're clearly working really, really hard. And I was very, very grateful for the fact that they managed to squeeze us in.
No, that's great. I'm really pleased for the lot of you. So, yeah.
Not remotely jealous.
No, not at all. But then again, I couldn't go anyway. Dear. Anyway, moving on from there, I think. Just getting those green eyes away from Psychic. We would also like to discuss. Well, Ben's actually asked this one, which I thought was quite interesting, because it's well known that I am a Thargoid. How shall I put it? Hater. I think is the best way to put it. Basically, if it comes to shooting a Thargoid, I will go after shooting a Thargoid. And he'd like to know what my and other Thargoid or anti-Xeno people's opinions are on the possibility of non-hostile relations with the Thargoids. Ben, do you want to go into more detail about that?
Yes, listen to last week's episode.
I've been really busy hosting someone. It's fully on my list of things to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to bore everybody. You know, they heard our opinion last week. I was wondering what your opinion was.
Well, great. I've got to react to an opinion I didn't hear.
Oh no, I was asking you a question. What's your take on non-hostile things? You know,
non-hostile relationships with the Thargoids. Well,
Yeah.
I've got two feelings about this. One is the in-game feeling, and the other one is the gameplay feeling I have on this. Now, I would like. I do sometimes wonder whether or not a mistake was made by the developers saying, yes, there is a possibility of peace with the Thargoids. I don't think they should have said that at all, and that's part to do with my gameplay reason. However, I must admit, I am trying to rack my brains about any other game that has gone the diplomacy route in resolving a conflict and made it interesting. The issue that I have is that I can't see, or I haven't seen an example where you start off with two sides in conflict, and through player action, you've managed to resolve a peaceable outcome without mass bloodshed. Because conflict is part of the game.
So, as an example, let's take last week's CGs as an example, where you had Hive of Scum and Villainy, Asshats, Psychic's favourite people, Daddy Savlon trying to build up his things and trying to build up his megaships with the trade CG, and then there were then two competing combat CGs. One of the things Alan did suggest as a rather than having a combat CG, essentially sort of pretending you're pirating and pretending you're protecting trade stuff, you could have had another trade CG, which would have basically, we're buying the same stuff they need so that they can't get it.
Right. So basically, outspending the bad guys.
Essentially, that was an idea of you could try outspending the bad guys.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that was just a basic idea.
Yeah, I was just.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
I was just agreeing because I thought it was a really interesting suggestion of Alan. You know, to counter trade with trade rather than countering with combat. So yeah. How would you do that with Thargoid?
We've had CGs like that before, and it's basically turned up to who can fill up the bucket fastest.
Mm.
And the problem that I've seen with that is as soon as one bucket is filled to a certain level, the other side just gives up. I'm sure I've seen it where it's mostly been in the Federation versus Empire threads, where you've got the Federation and the Empire, and they're both doing a trade of exactly the same thing. And it happened a lot when we were when the Pleiades was originally being settled. And what would happen is that the Empire would be good at one kind of CG, which was trade, and the Federation would be good at combat. So every single time you had a Federation versus Empire CG in trade, people eventually just didn't bother flying for the Federation. They'd wait for the next Federation combat.
Oh, interesting. I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was interesting, but it was really weird that things fell along those lines. What I'm interested in knowing is what could we do to what gameplay mechanics, or what could we do to the Thargoids to show, hang on, A, we're not threatening, and B,
we could drop them gin and Lavian brandy.
We could. Okay, here's one. We could attach combine harvesters to the back of our SRVs and help them to refertilize all the barnacles that we've made such a mess of. We could become farmers.
Now, you might actually joke there, Alec, but if we could find a mechanic which could revitalize those...
revitalize the barnacles.
Got it. I've got it. So we could do... They could resurrect... what was the old game that came out on the Archimedes? I think Braben wrote it. Virus. Zark, yeah. Also called Virus, I think. Same game. Yeah, so we could do crop dusting for the Thargoids. There you go.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, you see, the thing is, I know that the one issue with this from a gameplay mechanic is that people enjoy fighting Thargoids. It's a challenge. It's the big bad in the entire game. And unless you have something along the lines of what has been hinted to, where you've got one faction of Thargoids that will always be hostile, so that the people keep that part of the game, but you can make peace with other parts, the other faction of Thargoids, I don't see them ever allowing the peaceful route to happen.
Yeah, we sort of touched on this last week, actually, the idea that you can't take away Thargoid combat. It's too good. It's such a great sort of boss fight. So the only way to do it is to introduce a second faction that we can deal peaceably with, I think.
I mean, it could come down to the only thing that seems to have worked in the past. It needs a bigger bad for us both to be scared of. Was that discussed?
Not really. We were originally going to touch on aliens in more and do Guardians as well, but we didn't really talk about Guardians.
Yeah, we briefly covered AI and things like that as well.
I mean, the obvious big bad that would be bigger than the Thargoids and humanity would be the Guardians, because we know that they've beaten the Thargoids once, and effectively they bombed them back to the Stone Age, and the Thargoids are scared of Guardian weaponry. Do you think
Guardian everything, really?
How about a 34th century equivalent of potato blight that affects both our crops and the Thargoid crops? I'm definitely going with the Zarch idea, actually.
Well, we've got a state of blight already, haven't we?
Yeah, there you go. The big bad turns out to be potato blight.
Yeah. It's an interesting one to certainly think about. I mean, I'm just feeling that there's a.
Uh-oh.
Certainly, can Psychic? Do you want to jump in?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Because I'm getting a bit lost.
Yeah, so okay, right. Thargoid piece. There is an awful lot of signal boosting towards that being a possibility potentially in a future update, which absolutely I would agree it would need a faction within the Thargoids to be feeling the same way as we are. Say they've got a Joy Sen and their equivalent of the Joy Sen and the Ice broadcast being, okay, maybe we can have peace with these people too. And then that being like, I'm not saying Thargoid, like Thargoid cult, but some kind of friendly humans are friends not food kind of situation going on over in that side, and that being like a nice sort of like stealthy undercurrent, because as everyone said, the combat has been going on for so long now, it's difficult to take back like to trying to wipe them out on mass attempts and go, oh yeah, shit, I'm so sorry about that, that was the previous guy, take back C's handshake. And also we've got a shed ton of people in Elite who enjoy Thargoid combat, so it would be remiss to take that away. However, adding not even like a different race of Thargoids, just like Thargoids with a different mindset. We all have different mindsets. Why can't Thargoids? Why can there not be some that have branched away from the hive and are forming their own ideals? I feel like that might be something that. Is it called the Kingfisher?
The ship that's heading out there, yeah, the Kingfisher.
So the Kingfisher, if the Kingfisher goes out and it doesn't instantly explode, which is 100% a possibility, if that goes out and doesn't instantly explode, the alternative option for that Kingfisher is to find folks who. Thargoid folks who are willing to try and communicate the same way we have Thargoid advocates over here who will try and do that as well. If that whole thing, if they meet each other, then it could open a new underplaying current of potential peace talks going forward. And then what else is coming to satisfy that combat itch?
Yeah,
I do not think it's Guardians. I feel like isn't it the case that the Guardians were the ones that ran rather than the Thargoids, or am I mixing that up? Isn't it just the AI of the Guardians that was left? So
yes, the Guardians themselves. There's nothing left of them apart from the ruins because the AI decided to wipe them out.
Right. Okay.
They created this AI to basically make all the decisions for them, and in any good sci-fi series, as soon as the AI got intelligent enough, went, you know what?
I can't do that, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, let's kill our race to protect our race. If you see what I mean.
Right. So, at what point were the Thargoids scared of the Guardians?
They were scared before the AI. In fact, actually, they developed the AI to take on the Guardians. But they, at that point, the AI started to systematically bomb the Thargoids into the Stone Age and force them to retreat from Guardian space. And because it won, this is according to Ramtar, according to the records they got, The Guardian AI won the war against the Thargoids. The Guardians themselves said, well, you did a very good job. Let's hand over more and more responsibility to the AI. And then the AI went, right, okay, you know what? We're better off without you. And then the AI disappeared as well. So all that's left of the Guardians is obviously the Guardian ruins.
Okay.
Now, what happens if we get the AI coming back at some point?
Well, if the AI that is left there, like the sentient AI drones that are left there, if that's anything to go by, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
We've also got to remember that the Guardians did try to talk to the Thargoids, and the Thargoids apparently weren't interested in talking.
It's completely true. They did develop the AI as the last resort because they'd been trying to communicate with the Thargoids and got basically nowhere.
And just to clarify, our only source of information for that is the case, and that's all the thing, is all of the deciphering that Ramtar has made.
That's correct, yes.
And Ramtar, just to clarify, is the guy that makes a lot of weaponry to fight the Thargoids. Just to clarify, not that I'm saying he's biased or anything, but Ramtar is the one who makes a lot of the weaponry. Just to be okay.
Not only that, but it was written by the Guardians too. And then I'm going to say, well, we couldn't be asked talking to them. We just thought we'd shoot them first.
Yeah, good.
It's only us who just went, you know what, fuck it, it's fine. We'll just go and kill her.
Yeah, that's what the Egyptians apparently went off and did. They wrote the news before they actually had the battles.
Yeah, I mean, back in those days, they didn't have email, so it didn't travel as fast.
True.
Yeah. Yes, there was quite a lot of that going on in ancient times, wasn't there? In fact, and not so far in the past either, to be honest. Right, so at the moment, we've got the possibility of a big bad. We've got the possibility of a schism in the Thargoids. We know that there are basically two factions within the Thargoids themselves.
Oh, technically, that's only from the books.
Yeah, I was going to say that's
vague
not
levels
Codex.
of canon.
Did Alan clarify anything about that?
This was one of the things that Alan spent quite a while talking about, obviously, is the various levels of canon. And obviously, for Elite Dangerous, the only thing that's canon is
the game itself.
The game.
Yeah.
Then you've got the official books.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything else is yours. Like, well, if it kind of been mentioned in the thing, then you can squeeze it in, but maybe kind of, sort of, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that. I was under the impression from Michael Brooks that the books were supposed to be canon.
Nope. No, not the case at all. And I clarified this at Lave with Darren as well. I actually asked him, and his wording was along the lines of, don't get me wrong, I'd had a fair amount to drink at that point, but his wording was along the lines of, we put the codex in the game specifically to try and clarify that.
Right, gotcha. So if it's not in the codex, it's not in the game.
Yeah, which is why there isn't there's no record in the game. Please, by all means, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no record in the game of a second race of Thargoids currently.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So the whole thing about the two factions until we have it in writing in the codex, then we can't assume it's true. Right.
I mean, I see it as a bit like Star Wars Legends kind of ideas.
That means Lave Revolution never really happened.
Oh, because that was one of the books. So
yeah.
I thought the books were meant to be canon.
Nope.
Oh,
that's exactly what Psychic was just saying.
Still nope. It's still no books. No books. There's nothing to say that in the future they won't go, oh, that bit that was in the book, we're going to take that and we're going to use that as part of our game. But until it's fully in the game, then...
Yeah, that's what I sort of see as like the main canon, I guess. And then I see the Elite Dangerous books as a step behind that, but More so
Inspired
yeah.
by Elite Dangerous.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would
I mean,
lean them out.
There
so
were
much of the
advisory
books
rules,
were-
weren't there? The authors were given advisory rules of what they can and can't say.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything in the books that's, at least at the time, horribly contradictory to what Frontier had in mind. But I think ultimately Frontier have kind of reserved the right to change things a bit, and only what actually makes it into the game is fact.
And Darren has just put in the chat that you've also got to find that what's in the historical tourist beacons. Whatever is in the historical tourist beacons is also canon.
Yeah. So like again, stuff that is available in game that you can see. Those are the bits that are canonical, rather than stuff someone wrote at some point.
So that's it. So the fact that some stupid buckyballer decided to drive halfway around a planet, that's canon.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that really happened, Alec.
Absolutely. Operation Witch Hunt. It's in Galnet. It's canon.
I mean, I think the only thing that we could have about the whole, the Claxian and Oresian thing was the stuff in Robert Holstock's book. They do say the INRA discovered that the Thargoid society is organized into hives.
Yes.
Now, maybe you could say a hive as being a different breed or branch or how you want to say it.
Family.
Yeah.
House of the Dragon shit going on there.
Maybe you could go into that thing where all the hives aren't completely in sync with each other. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, the closest we ever got to that kind of stuff really was touched on the Out of Darkness novel by T. Jane. I mean, that was the first novel where all that stuff was mentioned. I mean, it was mentioned in Premonition later on, but it's one of those things that we just have to. Yeah, I guess we just have to wait and see whether or not it's actually actioned or used. Otherwise, I guess it's just conjecture. But still, do you think that? I mean, yeah, we've got the big bad, which is either the Guardian AI coming back and a threat to everybody in the galaxy, or which, to tell the truth, feels very Mass Effect to me. And then we've also got maybe a schism within the Thargoids itself. Is there anything else that you reckon could be used as a mechanic to make the Thargoids friends with us? And I don't drop off as many escape capsules as possible.
Smooth on the inside, crunchy on the outside. Don't know what you're talking about. I do feel like we've got. It's difficult to see a mechanic in game that isn't. I will talk about something else in just a second, but it's difficult to think of a mechanic that's currently in game that would be fully peace oriented. However, we have a nice chunky update coming at the end of the month, so there might be new mechanics that allow us to do other things and have chatty stuff with Thargs and learn information. And I'm really excited about update 14. I think it's going to be wizard. But the one thing I will say is, when you were talking about alternative cargo CGs and having opposing cargo CGs, there was a little bit of an initiative back along when Azimuth was doing one of its, please give us shit, thanks. We'd like it to make more weapons and cause the Proteus wave, which started all of this. Some members of Operation Witch Hunt decided that they would also take their fleet carriers into the same system and put requests on for exactly the same items. So put big buy orders, but paying even more than the megaship was, as some kind of way to try and do it, to try and muddy those waters and make maybe people who are just doing it for the profit maybe a little bit more interested in going and giving it to them instead, because they'd make more of a profit. There were other people who bought out a lot of very close places of the materials to make it harder for other pilots to find those materials, and they would have to go further in another attempt to try and put them off doing it, which I thought was super clever and was a really interesting idea. And I don't know how it obviously it wasn't particularly successful, because people will do anything for cash, especially if there's a community goal for it. But it was I just thought that those were sort of like really interesting ways of using the current game mechanics to make it trickier and make it more difficult to succeed in these goals. I don't know, just something food for thought, maybe.
Yeah, it does feel that the mechanics at the moment doesn't support. We can't see how the existing mechanics could be used to create a peace, some kind of peace offering between the Thargoids. So yeah, we'll hopefully with update 14, something comes along which opens that possibility. It's just I'm drawing a blank of what the heck it could be. And maybe that's a good thing that I am, because that means that if there is one, I'm going to be surprised in a good way. Right. I mean, it'd be interesting to see, has the chat got any suggestions about what we've got for...
I can see Andy Pipkin's got an interesting suggestion there. So he says about the Thargoids hating us stealing their meta-alloys. So how about having Ramtar and Palin develop artificial meta-alloys and propose a ceasefire?
So something to feed the Thargoids with?
Yeah, I mean, obviously people are thinking occupied escape pods, but that's a bit unsavoury. But yeah, maybe we could give the Thargoids something less unsavoury that benefits both.
I'm hoarding occupied escape pods on my fleet carrier at the moment.
How many have you got?
Just I don't know, not that. Like, I mean, I've been in a lot of wars recently, and sometimes I get my collector limpets out. I know, but that involves like it just ends up with escape pods everywhere. And where else are you going to put them? Because you aren't going to hand them in. You want to save them just in case the Thargoids get hungry.
So basically, you are the Etienne Dawn of the.
I am just the proprietor of the Unspecified Meat Emporium. I do not indulge in the meaty surprise.
You do not indulge in the meaty surprise, right?
Oh my god! What a quote!
Yes, we've got one. Clip it and put it back in.
I do not indulge in the meaty surprise. Oh my god!
Again, I am sorry, mate. I am really sorry.
Yes, well, unfortunately, due to lack of innuendo from last week, we're making out for it this week. Kitty Anna said, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Lave brandy and escape pod cruddies. Or crudités.
Cruddies. Jesus, Colin.
I haven't started on the whiskey yet.
Cruddies.
Crudites. It's crudites.
Let's go with cruddies. It sounds better.
Okay.
Oh dear. Anyway, where were we?
Meta alloys.
Yeah, meta alloys. Yeah, I mean that to me feels a little sort of No Man's Sky. If we could basically generate meta alloys by maybe going, exploring and scanning and sampling, that'd be useful. If we could start harvesting other things to create our own meta alloys.
But we've got there was that section, as we were talking about earlier, that section about one of the more recent Galnet articles about there being a bigger payout for doing that exploration and stuff. And that could genuinely be something that would really help, or be the reason why they're upping that rather than just a game balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really cool if they managed to take the Xeno scanning stuff and maybe have a little enhancement so that you can use it. People have often asked to be able to use like the SRV scanner to find plants in the distance.
Yeah.
If they really enhanced that feature and then had us scouring planets for stuff that we could give to the Thargoids, I don't know, stretching, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I think this is one of the things that I've been asking for or hoping that we'd get for quite a while is a kind of harvest mechanic for the xenobiology. Something that we could harvest and then pass back maybe, but I guess.
Does the handheld xenoscanner thing do anything if you point it at a barnacle?
It does not.
No. Okay.
I've tried it. Well, go on, Ben.
Yeah, it doesn't yet. Maybe with update 14 it might.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, unless anybody's got any other suggestions, I think we'll have to move on to the community corner. So, like Commander Ventura, try and heal a Thargoid with a health laser. They only
Healy beams.
Healy beams.
Let's
Those
do
only
it.
work on shields. Unfortunately.
Thargoids have shields. Or
Yeah,
we could
but
go
only-
and do an. Could we do? Oh, yeah, but you've also got the healing limpets.
No, I've tried that. I've actually fired healing limpets at the Thargoids by accident.
They didn't like it, did they?
No, it just doesn't lock on. It fires off. It chases them, but then when it gets too close, it just disappears. But yeah, that could be something.
I mean, that's again, it's another something that you could theoretically, I guess, maybe find a Thargoid mothership, and humanity heals it instead of nukes it.
This Nopal Thrusa said by accident, Thargoid lover. Yeah, right. By accident means that my finger slipped and I selected the wrong target. Andy Pipkin suggests trying a mining laser to get rid of any ticks which are on board the surface of the Thargoid. That could be a good one.
I don't think Darren likes our idea, Colin.
No, Thargoids heal themselves. They are strong, independent insects that don't need no human.
But we taste so good. Crunchy on the outside, squishy on the inside.
Yeah, but who's to say they're actually eating them? They could be like.
I hope they're not probing us.
They could be taking them to a lovely country where they get to sip gin and tonics by a lake, and yes, that's definitely what's happening.
Oh, they're being taken to a farm. They have to live on a farm. Full of alpacas everywhere.
I'm genuinely now concerned about this conversation.
Actually, you know what? I got a horrible feeling it'd be like the original Battlestar Galactica, where basically they shove the humans into pods and then the larvae eat them.
Yeah, I suspect, if anything, we are their equivalent of Soylent Green.
Very much so. Terran has actually said, Ben, given the size, if a Thargoid probe does arrive, I hope they're not putting those inside people.
I bet they are. I really do. That's a disgusting image.
I'm now going to various Japanese media.
No, please don't.
Nope.
We're not wanting tentacle porn here. Thank you very much. I know where you're going. I to be dragged along to it. The black hole of anime tentacle porn. No, thank you.
Thargoids are going to wear us like gloves.
Shame us. Is that a Thargoid probe in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me?
No, just no. And you can see Ben's making up for being restrained last week. No, I'm not restrained in that way.
This isn't the hentai we signed up for.
Yeah. Oh dear. Anyway, let's move on to the community corner before we end up. Yes. Well, we do have something interesting. about the shanties from Stargoid.
Have you listened to this, Colin?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
do we have it to play it?
We don't have it to play, I believe.
Oh, are we going to get hit by copyright?
Oh, possibly, but also I've only seen it as a tweet.
Yeah, me too.
Rather than on YouTube, so I can't find a way to obtain it to give it to Norman to play it on the stream.
That's a shame.
But it's a good thing. It's a good tweet.
So basically, this is the shanty song that was a big hit last year being modified for Thargoids.
I don't know of any shanty songs being big last year. But
Yeah, it is.
It is. Oh, look at this! He's not up with what the kids liked last year. Jeez.
You're not on TikTok, Ben. You're not on TikTok. It was all over TikTok.
No, I'm not on TikTok, thank God. YouTube Shorts are bad enough.
That's exactly the same
You don't
thing.
have to click on the shorts. You just don't have to watch them.
But I just have to scroll down.
Just one more scroll. That'll do.
4 hours later.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that happens to. I didn't get it because the missus is addicted to TikTok, and yeah, I'm telling her, no, you don't know what that's doing to your phone.
Yeah.
So yes, let us recommend the Stargoid shanty as provided by Stargoid. I know because Stargoid is a new streamer, I believe. It's only just started in the last month or so, but yeah. it's apparently quite good.
Very good.
Now,
you
next.
watch it.
Pardon?
It's very good. You need to watch it.
Yes. It has the Lave Radio seal of approval, which actually should condemn it, to be honest, shouldn't it? It's like that thing from League of Gentlemen who wants special stuff. Right. Loose Screws. We're giving a shout out to Loose Screws because they have managed to win gold in the Squadron Anti-Xeno Championship. Now, every 3 months, we've got the championship, which the Squadron Championship, which gives squadrons awards if they've done very well in certain things like trade or power play and so on. So these take the place of little decals that you can actually, or bobbleheads you can put in your ship. And Loose Screws have managed to win gold in the Anti-Xeno initiative, and they did it by the skin of their teeth. Alec, do you have more details on this?
Yeah, it was just awesome. I was listening to it on their podcast this morning. So they've been pushing for bronze for quite a long time now. You know, the last however long this thing goes on for, really, they decided to have a big push for bronze. Anti-Xeno initiative, I think, obviously were contenders for gold. I forget who they were competing with for silver.
Marauders Vanguard.
Right,
I think it was.
Okay, so then in the last week or so, it started to look like they could theoretically even take silver, but they were still focusing on bronze. They thought they would go for bronze. And then basically in the final day, a bunch of them were sitting on billions of, bonds left over to hand in. So they did a big hand in. I think handed in something like 80 or 90 billion credits worth of bonds.
Wow.
Which pushed them, I think, confidently into silver at that point. And then a bunch of them, I think there's about 7 of them, decided on pretty much the final night of the championship that they, just for fun, they just wanted to go in game and kill one more interceptor just to sort of round the night off.
It's one wafer thin mint.
Yeah, pretty much. And then they got this really good, instance with a whole bunch of interceptors and things. So they got a decent payout from the fight, but basically they won by the bonds of a single interceptor.
So 20 million.
I can't remember what it was. It was a bit more than that, but it was what was really nice about the story was that effectively, they've been encouraging a lot of new commanders to hop in on their Discord and sort of come and do a bit of Thargoid combat for fun. And what was really nice about winning by such a close margin is it effectively meant that every single person that joined them and managed to join in with a kill effectively made the difference. It's lovely. That's great. Good story.
Yeah, so I think I know one of the things that did this, because Commander Chig, one of the basically one of the best pilots I know, he was sat on he was sat on billions, and he had saved those billions up for months. Absolutely months. So it's nice that they all put a massive pay in. According to Happy Moon Monkey, the margin was actually less than 8 million credits. Wow. Out of billions.
Yeah, I think they'd worked out a statistic that the margin they won by, in proportion to the amount the total they'd handed in, was something like 0.04%.
It's like Lewis Hamilton beating Max Verstappen by 100,000th of a second, but it still counts.
Or it could always just be. I'm trying to think of an analogy, which is like maybe Lewis Hamilton, maybe Max Verstappen gave Checo his place back, but that's not. I'm just triggered by that. Sorry.
And yes, again, my favourite Ricardo manages to ruin the race. Yes, again. So it is a good. It's a good job we don't have the equivalent of F1 races, because otherwise, I'd turn it into a destruction derby. Wreckfest. Been playing too much of it. Right, the other news is the FPS tournament. That is still ongoing, with sign-ups still available. So if you want to get your shoot up on, we will pass some details in the show notes. And that's something that I'm hoping to get involved in the next couple of weeks. So I think I've got to get the buckyball done first, because buckyball always comes first, and then I'll start on the FPS tournament. So that is a pure thumbs up from me. Has anybody got any mostly clueless suggestions that you can make?
The only thing I would say is you can't fly as fast as a Stargoid.
I have something buckyball relevant, if you like, and I genuinely learned. I genuinely learned this for the first time this week. How to describe this? You cannot have enough fuel to make a jump, so you can start with not enough fuel, right?
Right.
And then as you scoop and start gaining fuel, you'll get to a point where you have enough fuel to make the jump. And from that point on, as you continue to scoop past that point, you're now gaining weight and reducing your jump range.
Yes.
So if you imagine a graph, there's like a little curve going on here where there's a peak where you have your maximum jump range, and to the left of that, down the left-hand side of the curve, you haven't got enough fuel to jump, and down the right-hand side, you've got too much fuel and it's weighing you down.
Gotcha.
So it turned out there was a route I was trying to shave one jump in the race, and I found this route where I could literally just make it if I manually plotted, but I needed exactly the maximum amount of fuel that the ship could carry.
Right.
So I start dabbling around, and the trick I thought was to pull out of the scooping zone at just the right moment to leave me with max jump range.
Oh, I see.
Okay. What I learned, which I didn't know, is that you only have to engage the jump at the right point. So as long as you watch, I can't remember it because I've messed with my HUD colors, but on my HUD, the fuel gauge changes to yellow when I've got enough fuel to make the jump.
That's right, because basically you can see in the standard one, it's yellow, but you'll see the jump range in blue.
Yeah, okay.
So as soon as you see that first bit of yellow and you're blue, then you'll jump.
So you can stay scooping, but basically, as long as you hit the engage jump button at the instant it changes color, you can get your max range jump, and then you can carry on scooping to your heart's content until the countdown's finished, and actually end up jumping with more fuel than theoretically would allow you to make that jump, which is quite interesting. I didn't know.
But don't you also have to drop a heat sink because your fuel for your ship heat is going up like
There's a lot of
bananas
heat
at that
in
point?
this race. There are a lot of heat sinks in this race. It depends what
Ah,
ship
right.
you're playing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. So I
that's
didn't
like-
realise that. I didn't know you could actually jump while theoretically not having the range to make the jump. If you see what I mean, it's interesting.
Well, you technically did. You just got it.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? At the point, if you think about the science of it, at the point your sort of frameshift drive kicks in and actually makes the hyperspace jump,
Yeah.
you're sort of too heavy to get the range.
Oh, I got you. Especially if you're carrying on fueling at the time.
Yeah.
Ah,
Anyway, that's my little.
wow. That feels a little bit of a cheat. Actually, it feels like it shouldn't work.
Yeah, I don't quite know what happens. Like during the countdown should sort of stop, and it should go. Sorry,
I'm just saying, Colin, Alex, sorry. Don't go and give any designers any ideas here.
Well, there might be any designer in the chat that might think, "Oh, that's a good point. I think I might have a look into that."
In fact, correct me if I'm wrong.
Don't want to raise a gyro.
But if during the countdown you get too close to a station, it does interrupt it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'll leave that.
Not that we're saying that anything should be actioned on that right at this moment. No Jira tickets need to be
Fine.
raised.
There's more important things to do than fix that.
Yeah, I must admit, it's quite rare for me to actually trigger a jump when I'm halfway through fueling. I think the only time I will trigger a jump is if there's a possibility of being interdicted. I think it's the only time that I would actually jump while fueling.
All right, you're going to have to change that attitude for this race. There's a lot of deep scooping going on here.
Do you like a bit of deep scooping, do you?
I do like a deep scoop.
Easy.
So we've got Psychic and we've now got Alec. Excellent. Right. Well, I think we'll move on from the mostly clueless. Now, any other business? Now, I think we've got a little bit of any other business to talk about here. Now, Alec.
Yeah, me
something
again.
interesting happening over in the wonderful world of Star Citizen.
I think this is interesting. We don't often talk about Star Citizen, but why not? We're all into space games, and I think this is a wonderful, wonderful thing that happened last week. So, a bit of backstory, but a couple of the guys in the Elite Racers group, Black Maze and Asashes, who kind of revolutionized what was going on in that group. They really brought sort of e-sport standard, commentary, and we had on-screen telemetry, and the races were properly organized into championships, and there was great camera work, and you could watch them live. It was fantastic stuff they were doing, but they among many other people got a bit disenchanted with Odyssey and ultimately jumped across to Star Citizen, where they started a similar group called XGR, Extreme Gravity Racing, which has been doing extremely well. And they've been doing, similar to what we did in Elite Racers, which is design tracks, theoretically find a path around a structure or around a surface location that's good to fly around, and you have to memorize it, and people do course maps, and you have to go because there's no gate markers or anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, they have been doing this for are they getting on for a year now? I want to say it was certainly 6 months, maybe a year they've been getting on. And CIG have been really taking an interest. And basically last week, CIG do these sort of weekly live streams, a bit like Frontier. So they do a thing called, Inside Star Citizen, and then a much longer sort of Star Citizen Live. And they have fleshed out their maps. It's beautiful, but they've built, structures and mining rigs, and they've put in gates, and apparently there's even like actual gameplay, like missions, so you can get missions to go and do races, and then they've got timers, I guess, and trigger gates, and so they've completely taken what the community have done and just run with it and built these tracks. And it was all a bit of a surprise, so you can just imagine watching the Star Citizen, Inside Star Citizen stream, and suddenly seeing your tracks brought to life by CIG. I think it's great. I have nothing but goodwill towards it. There's a very big difference between CIG and Frontier and the positions they're in, they have much, vastly bigger resources. They're still, in a sense, in that sort of phase that Elite was in when it was in Kickstarter, of being able to develop any which way they like, really. So, I would never expect Frontier to do anything like this, and I don't have any kind of resentment, a little bit of jealousy maybe, but I think it's wonderful. Quite extraordinary.
I mean, we have been asking for, I don't know, racetracks or even the beginner's course in the tutorial for something like that to be put into the game for, it must be going on years now.
Yeah.
And every time I think they've always said back, it's always too difficult to do, or because it's in a certain point, it need resources that are better spent elsewhere.
Just don't have the resources, and it's just too far down the. One thing that was interesting actually in the Star Citizen Live, the sort of live stream chat, is that actually what they did, a couple of the courses, they basically gave the job to new recruits as a way to sort of onboard their like asset design skills,
Oh, right, I see.
So in a sense, there was a place on a planet that was already a virtual course that was sketched out in the minds of the XGR Racing Group, and their task as a sort of first job working for CIG was to flesh it out with buildings and pipes and scaffolding, and which is quite a nice sort of onboarding experience, I suppose, for a new designer.
Yeah, I suppose that's quite useful. I suppose that's the difference between having resources of 13 to 14 million pounds to create a game and £500 million to create a game.
And 800 staff as compared to what, I don't know what Front Elite is now. Under 100, I'm guessing.
Yes. So
it's 8 times bigger.
Well, I mean, I must admit, there is a bit of jealousy when you do look at No Man's Sky and Star Citizen, because Star Citizen has got a lot more resources to throw at things. It's just, it does seem. I'm still waiting for what I paid for, so I'm still a bit salty about the whole Star Citizen thing. But it's actually quite interesting because I've been playing older games. I started playing back at Privateer, then Privateer 2, and then Freelancer, and realised that it's been a repeating pattern all the way through, because you've got Wing Commander and Privateer. They've kind of gone in the same way as Squadron 42 and Freelancer. Star Citizens is supposed to be. And then the next generation, they did Starlancer, and then there's Freelancer, which is exactly the same thing. I mean, the ironic thing about playing Freelancer now is that it feels so arcadey compared to the rest of the space sims that I don't. And I'm going to be controversial here. I don't think it should be counted as a space sim. And I say that as someone who likes Freelancer. So, anyway. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a rant. I've gone off on a tangent. Let's get back. Any other business? Ben, you've got something about World of Warcraft?
This isn't me. This looks like a Norman thing. So, I say, Norman, if you want to tell us something about this, come in and tell us. Because I don't know what on earth you're on about here.
I apologise, Ben. I thought that was you.
Nope. If it's Warcraft, I suspect it's Norm.
Nope. It's me. They're doing over this month and next month, they're doing Twitch drops on anyone that or people that have agreed to show or do World of Warcraft. And you get pets in game, and I think there's a mount there as well, and there's different bits and pieces. So it looks quite good. Basically.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically they're doing dragons, and what is this? It's sort of like how to train your dragon in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, then. It's sort of like that sort of thing, but it's to coincide with Dragonflight. So it looks quite good anyway.
Yeah. So is it How to Train Your Dragon, or is it House of Dragons?
How to Train Your Dragon. I saw that there was a new showcase today for the whole launch of this anyway, and it showed the scene. It looked like a scene from How to Train Your Dragon. So yeah, but it looks quite good. Graphics are good. So
yeah. I must admit, it must be something bad going from How to Train Your Dragon to House of Dragons.
Probably.
Oh, I just got this for you to watch. Kids has got dragons in it.
I like How to Train Your Dragon. Well. I like it. I like even like the cartoons. Anyway, I'll let you go on. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. Apart from that, has anybody else got any other business I want to quickly bring up? No. Right, okay. Well, I'm going to move on to the shout-outs then. Obviously, the Dex Island is taking a well-earned break at the moment, but if you want to, you can check the Dex Legacy on their own website at www.thedexlegacy.com. If you make a contribution, everything will go towards the making of Season 2. So, fingers crossed for everyone over there. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, it broadcasts on a Thursday at 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv Hutton Orbital Truckers. Or if you just want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. The Descending Commander that likes a bit of CQC action with Commander Chig and Commander Musketeer. You can check that out at the CQC Discord at discord.me/EliteDangerousCQC. And we'll give shout-outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts, so you can catch up with the old episodes of Flight Assist. There's the Guard Frequency, who do other space games as well. And, of course, the aforementioned Loose King of the Bug Hunters Screws over the other side of the Atlantic. So, following this, we have the latest Galnet News Digest. That's provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. And we'd like to thank everybody who's chipped in the Twitch chat. And, Ben, have you had many in-game commanders following the Stargoid? Hello? Have we lost Ben?
No, it just didn't turn my microphone on. Commander Phillips is the only one who's come on and join me.
Well, give him a wave from us.
He decided he was going to explode and return and go home.
Fair enough.
And I'm still trying to catch up with this Stargoid, but I don't think I'm going to make it.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's pulling away from me.
Oh. That's a shame. I was hoping for some Thargoid action, but not tonight. Right. Special thanks, of course, goes to Commander Tokuso, JN Tracks, Alan Stroud, who've all created music for the show. We'd also like to take a moment to thank Mouth of the Wind, Elvis Kremen, of course, Commander Ventura, and, of course, the Chris Mark IV for coming up with some fantastic adverts this time. They're really good. Yes. So apart from that, that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can email info@laveradio.com, hit us up at facebook.com/laveradio, tweet us at Lave Radio, or you can join our Discord server by going to discord.io/laveradio. We also have a TeamSpeak server where commanders like to hang out and chat, which is shared with the Hutton Orbital Truckers, and you can find that at teamspeak.laveradio.com. Do get in touch if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So I'd just like to wish good night to Alec Turner.
Colin, bye everyone. Bill race runs till Sunday.
Good night to Commander Psychic.
Good night.
And of course, good night to Commander Edelweiss.
Good night, Colin.
And special thanks, of course, goes to today's tech specialist, Commander Ventura.
Good night, Colin.
Why? Oh, why?
Zach!
Until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
safe word.
Space can be lonely.
I'm going to see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Update, 10th of November 3308.
The Thargoid roar, heard after the Battle of HIP 22460, was a cry for help, followed immediately by an immensely powerful reply from a distant source, according to a statement released today. Professor Albert Tesreau, the former Director of Research at Aegis, has been working with engineers Ram Tar and Ishmael Palin. With the help of Xiaojin Ai, known to Azimuth as Project Seraph Test Subject D2, they believe they now understand the general nature of the communication without yet understanding its details. Both overlapping transmissions appear to have used a multiplicity of frequencies, and it's not clear whether the entire spectrum of the transmission has been recorded. However, analysis, coupled with Xiaojin Ai's unique ability to tap into the Thargoid mind, has revealed that the communication is a call and response, with the response portion containing elements of acknowledgement and focus, meaning, very approximately, we see them and we're coming. The response transmission came from a single source, was focused towards Thargoid forces in HIP 22460, and was transmitted with immeasurably more power than any previous signal of sentient origin, using the Thargoid structure connected to the Proteus wave as a sort of relay and amplifier. There is no doubt in Xiaojin Ai's mind that the call is a direct response to the firing of Salvation's Proteus wave. The "we are coming" part of the response ties in with the approach of the 8 rogue signal sources, or Stargoids, that are gathering between the Pleiades and the bubble. Tesreau, Tar and Palin end their statement with a prediction that humanity may not be prepared to withstand the new phase of war that the Thargoids are about to unleash.
Meanwhile, Azimuth Biotech claims that its appeal to establish a megaship and to set up a chain of development labs has been partly successful. It'll get its megaship, which is intended to act as a forward base for pilots fighting the Thargoids, but a stiff opposition from those opposed to Azimuth on moral grounds means that it'll not yet be able to build any of its surface research bases. Mbuni permits will be made available to qualifying pilots who shipped commodities for Azimuth. Everyone else who wants one of the permits will be able to buy it from the Glorious Prospect megaship, which will be permanently stationed in T-Tauri for this purpose. If you fought to protect the deliveries, you may qualify for 1 or 2 overcharged Guardian plasma chargers, which will be placed into your storage aboard the megaship Musashi no later than Monday. If you fought against Azimuth, you may have qualified for 1 or 2 rapid-fire multi-cannons with phasing sequence, which will soon be deposited in your storage in McLean City in one drama. Azimuth CEO Torben Rademacher tried to put a positive spin on the mixed success of the initiative, saying the new megaship will probably enter service before the end of the month. He blamed the setbacks on anarchic opponents of progress and made it clear that he views it only as a temporary delay to Azimuth's plans to conduct weapons research. He rather ominously suggested that he'd address the persistent antagonism of those opposed to Azimuth separately, without giving any hint as to what he had in mind. If the Azimuth megaship is ready by the end of the month, it might just be in time for the arrival of the Stargoids, which appear to have somewhat slowed down in their advance towards the bubble. Galnet News Update, 11th of November 3308. A free upgrade to the full system scanner has been deployed to all ships. The FSS has previously been able to identify an audio signal from the unidentified interstellar anomalies or Stargoids. Now, an upgrade developed by Laurie Jameson allows Stargoids to be targeted even if they're not in the same system, and it shows how far away they are, and gives us a good idea about how fast they're travelling by the rate at which the distance changes. Jameson thanked a number of academic bodies, including Orion University and Canon Research, for their input to the upgraded version of the FSS, which was achieved in software and has been deployed galaxy-wide. But she noted that she has concerns about the nature of the rogue signal sources, as we must now learn to call the Stargoids, suggesting that trying to make peace with the Stargoids, which appear to be Thargoid in origin, may involve a certain amount of misplaced optimism. Jameson suggested that commanders might like to look at the Stargoids using the FSS for themselves. A good place to see one of the Stargoids close up on the 11th and 12th of November is Sinuf YK-W C18-1, which has a Stargoid coming straight towards it and is littered with wrecked ships, perhaps suggesting that Engineer Jameson's warning about the Stargoids may be valid. Galnet News Update, 14th of November 3308. The Stargoids don't have to mean all-out war with the Thargoids, according to peace activists. There are currently 8 of these Stargoids approaching the human bubble. The 3 in front appear to have slowed down to let the others catch up, but they're all now within 1,000 light-years of Sol, with 3 only 300 light-years from humanity's traditional cradle. Last week, Professor Alba Tesreau and engineers Ramtar and Ishmael Palin issued a joint statement. They said that former Azimuth test subject Xiaojin Ai's interpretation of the Thargoid roar was that following the Battle of HIP 22460, the Thargoids had called in reinforcements, and that the Stargoids are some kind of new Thargoid entity sent to put humanity in its place. But pro-peace activists from the Thargoid Advocacy Project have rejected the idea that our only choice is to prepare for war. Their community liaison officer, Bernadette Wells, managed to be patronising to a survivor of cruel experiments when she said we shouldn't base our approach to the Thargoids on the former D2's vague instincts. And she pointed out that Professor Tesreau had provided no proof that the advancing Thargoid war engines actually intend to attack. Newly appointed Congressman Dalton Chase agrees with the Xenopeace activists that an official grand diplomatic effort to negotiate peace would be more beneficial than the Grand Armada that Federal Vice Admiral Juno Rochester has proposed. He still intends to continue his private venture for peace, with the Thargoid Advocacy Project setting off in the Kingfisher megaship to negotiate with one of the Thargoid killing machines within the next few days. Nearly 8 weeks on, engineer Kit Fowler's ramblings in the September edition of End Times about the Stargoids being a hyperspace distortion caused by huge Thargoid megaships heading our way seem a lot more sensible than Orion University's Professor Elizabeth Perez, who claimed that we were imagining human-centric explanations for natural phenomena, and that the Stargoids weren't really homing in on humanity after all.
While the team on Dex Island take a well-earned break before their Series 2 return, there's plenty of material to fill the void. Point your auto assistant to your favourite podcast app, including Spotify and Audible, and search The Dex Legacy. There you'll find bonus edition interviews with cast members and with the writer Emily Inkpen. There's also plenty of bonus materials and merch at www.thedexlegacy.com. All proceeds go towards the making of Season 2.